Before we had the rifle that everyone talks about today, our soldiers carried some serious hardware. I'm talking about the M1 Garand and the M14. These were the tools of the trade for a generation of American GIs. They were built like tanks, mostly from heavy steel and solid wood. These weren't just guns, they were hefty pieces of machinery that you could feel in your bones after a long march. Imagine lugging one of these through thick mud or dense jungle, mile after mile. It was a workout, and not the kind you sign up for at a gym. The weight alone was a constant reminder of the burden of the job, a physical and mental load that never really went away. Now let's talk about what these rifles fired. They used big, powerful bullets, the kind that could punch through a tree. The .30-06 Springfield or the 7.62 x51mm NATO rounds were no joke. They were designed for long-range battles, the kind of fighting seen across the open fields of Europe. But this power came with a price. The magazines on these rifles held very few rounds. The M1 Garand, for instance, had an 8-round clip. When you're in a firefight, 8 rounds disappear in the blink of an eye. That meant soldiers were constantly reloading, a dangerous and time-consuming task when everything is on the line. The sheer physicality of these older rifles created a significant challenge. A soldier's effectiveness isn't just about how well they can shoot, it's also about how much they can endure. Carrying a heavy rifle, along with a limited supply of equally heavy ammunition, meant every soldier had to make tough choices. Do you carry more water or more bullets? More food or more grenades? The weight of the basic combat load was already crushing, and the rifle was a huge part of that equation. In the hot, humid jungles of Southeast Asia, this wasn't just an inconvenience, it was a serious tactical disadvantage that could wear a soldier down before the first shot was even fired. So you had these powerful, reliable, and respected rifles that had served the country well in previous wars. But the nature of warfare was changing. The old way of doing things was meeting a new kind of battlefield. The long, open sightlines of World War II were being replaced by close-quarters combat in dense, unforgiving terrain. The military needed a new tool for a new, dirty job. They needed something that wouldn't exhaust the user, something that allowed a soldier to carry more ammunition, and something better suited for the fast-paced, up-close reality of modern combat. The stage was set for a radical change. Enter the AR-15. When it first appeared, it looked like something from the future. Instead of traditional wood and steel, its creators used modern materials. They built the rifle with lightweight aluminum alloys and synthetic polymers, what most of us would just call plastic. This was a huge departure from the old way of thinking. The result was a rifle that weighed significantly less than its predecessors. Suddenly, soldiers could carry their primary tool without feeling like they were hauling an anchor. This reduction in weight was more than just a convenience. It was a game changer that directly impacted a soldier's stamina and mobility on the battlefield. The innovation didn't stop with the materials. The AR-15 fired a new kind of ammunition, a smaller, lighter 5.56mm cartridge. This was a radical idea. For decades, the thinking was that a bigger bullet was always better, but the designers of the AR-15 looked at the problem differently. They realized that if the bullet and the cartridge were smaller and lighter, a soldier could carry a lot more of them. Instead of being limited to a few dozen rounds, a soldier could now carry hundreds of rounds for the same weight. This simple change fundamentally altered combat logistics for the individual grunt on the ground. This new rifle also handled completely differently. The older, heavier rifles had a powerful kick. Their recoil could be punishing, especially for smaller-statured soldiers, and it made firing multiple shots quickly and accurately a real challenge. The AR-15, with its smaller cartridge and innovative gas-operated system, had much less recoil. It was easier to control, easier to aim, and easier to shoot. This meant a soldier could stay on target more effectively during a firefight, putting more rounds where they needed to go. It made the average soldier a more capable shooter, which is exactly what you want when things get messy. One of the cleverest and often overlooked features of the early military versions was the built-in storage. Inside the stock of the rifle was a small compartment designed to hold a basic cleaning kit. This was a brilliant piece of practical engineering. In the mud, dust, and humidity of a combat zone, a rifle can get dirty and jam. Having the tools to fix the problem right there, inside the weapon itself, was incredibly important. It meant a soldier didn't have to wait for support or dig through their pack in an emergency. They had what they needed to get their tool back in the fight, right at their fingertips. It was a simple solution for a dirty, recurring problem. The military didn't just guess that a new rifle was needed, they did their homework. They conducted extensive studies on actual combat engagements from past wars. What they found was surprising to many at the time. The data showed that the vast majority of firefights happened at relatively close distances, typically within 300 yards. The old rifles, designed to be effective out to 500 yards or more, were overqualified for the job. Their long-range power was rarely needed. The new, smaller 5.56mm round, while less powerful at extreme distances, was perfectly suited for the ranges where most of the fighting actually occurred. This data-driven approach confirmed that the AR-15 was the right tool for the modern job. Its design principles, lighter weight, higher ammunition capacity, and manageable recoil, were ideal for the fast-paced, close-quarters battles that were becoming the norm. A soldier could move faster, carry more firepower, and engage targets more quickly and accurately within the typical combat zone. The rifle wasn't about raw, brute force, it was about efficiency and adapting to the reality of the work. It was a practical solution born from a careful study of the problem, not from tradition or old assumptions. The designers also included features based on direct feedback from the field. One of the most recognizable is the forward assist. It's that little button on the side of the receiver. Its job is simple but critical. In the heat of battle, sometimes a round doesn't seat perfectly in the chamber, maybe due to dirt or grime. When that happens, the rifle won't fire. The forward assist allows the soldier to manually push the bolt carrier forward, forcing the round into place. It's a manual override for a potentially life-threatening jam, a way to get the tool working again without a complicated disassembly when seconds count. These features, taken together, show a philosophy of practical design. The AR-15 was engineered to solve the real-world problems faced by soldiers. It was lighter to carry, easier to shoot, and equipped with features to handle common malfunctions. It allowed a soldier to carry more ammunition, which is a huge psychological and tactical advantage. The rifle represented a shift from a one-size-fits-all powerhouse to a specialized tool designed for the specific dirty job of a modern infantryman. It was a product of thoughtful engineering meeting the harsh realities of the battlefield. There's a lot of talk about the AR-15 these days, and much of it is steeped in misunderstanding. It's often called a weapon of war, and while its design origins are military, that label can be misleading. People hear it and imagine a weapon of almost mythical power, something far beyond any other firearm. The truth, however, is a bit more mundane. The reality is that the AR-15 platform is not unusually powerful. In fact, when you look at the energy of the bullet it fires, the 5.56mm or .223 Remington, it's actually less powerful than many common hunting rifles. Many popular rifles used for hunting deer, elk, or moose fire cartridges that are significantly larger and deliver far more energy downrange. Calibers like the .3006, the .308 Winchester, or the 7mm Remington Magnum are all substantially more powerful than the standard 5.56mm round. The AR-15's effectiveness in a military context was never about the raw power of a single shot. It was about the overall system, the low recoil, the lightweight, and the ability to deliver accurate, rapid fire at common engagement distances. It was designed for a specific job, and that job did not require the brute force of a big-game hunting rifle. The confusion often comes from its appearance. Its modern military-style look can be intimidating to people unfamiliar with firearms. But the way a tool looks doesn't define how it works or what it's capable of. A tool is defined by its function. The AR-15 is a lightweight, semi-automatic rifle that is easy to use and adaptable for various purposes, from sport shooting to home defense. Its popularity comes from its ergonomic design, its modularity, and its reliability. It's a well-engineered piece of machinery, but it does not possess some unique, devastating power that sets it apart from all other firearms. Ultimately, the AR-15 changed warfare because it was a practical answer to a series of tough questions. It solved the problem of weight, ammunition capacity, and user control that plagued older rifles. It was a tool built for the reality of the modern battlefield, not the memory of old ones. Understanding its history, why it was created, and what problems it was designed to solve is key to understanding its place in the world today. It's not a monster, it's a machine. And like any machine, it's important to look past the myths and understand how it actually works and what it was truly built to do.